A little bit of a fun one today. Kind of shipbuilding, kind of not. Kind of companions loitering around because I unassigned them so they wouldn't talk over my presentation. And I don't think they have any idea where they're going now or what they're going to do with themselves. But at any rate, I had this idea. So you got this constellation, right? And Constellation is sponsored by Mr. Stroud. Mr. Stroud of Stroud-Eklund, makers of ships. So I think to myself, why is the Frontier not a Stroud ship? Why is the Frontier Nova Galactic ship? If Stroud's sponsoring Constellation, why don't they have a fleet of Stroud ships? Well, I guess there's a lot of lore reasons. Maybe the Frontier's been with the company, been with Constellation longer than Stroud has. Like, I don't know how long I can't recall. Did they say how long Stroud's been with Constellation? Nova Galactic, you could tell they're kind of going for some of the old Earth aesthetic there. You know, that's the oldest shipbuilder in the colonies, right? So this is, I guess it's implied that the Frontier is an old ship. And actually, it's got me thinking here. Let me just check something on my phone here. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a reference here because the Frontier belonged, or didn't belong. It was given to you by Barrett. There's a famous little sea shanty, which you can tell they've used some sea shanties in this game before, called Barrett's Privateers. So I think it's a play on that. 1976, Barrett's Privateers. Barrett's Privateers is about a young guy who gets drafted by a guy named Barrett to join his privateers, where they got permission to do piracy against enemy ships. It's kind of the way it was at one point in time, way back in the day. Piracy was legal, provided you were doing it for the crown against the opposition's ships. You could get a license to do that. So you got Barrett, and you got a ship, which people make comments as it's kind of like a crappy old ship, right? Because that's what happened in the song Barrett's Privateers. The ship that they were on was like this really crappy old ship. It was like broken down. It friggin' didn't swim right. It kind of like was tilted, and they describe it in this song. Anyway, I guess the Nova Galactic Frontier is Barrett's freaking crappy ship. So anyway, I asked myself the question, what if the Frontier wasn't a Nova Galactic ship? What would it look like? What would it, if we built it using the other team's components, what would it look like? So at first, I thought to myself, Stroud-Eklund. Well, we ended up with this thing, which is it's got a, is it a beluga I'm thinking of? Is it a beluga forehead? Yeah, the beluga's what I'm thinking of. This derpy little thing. Let's take a better look at it. Boom. Look at that guy. It's quite derpy, actually. Maybe we could do better, but this is me trying to make a Stroud ship with the exact same format as the friend. Here, let's just take a look inside. Even though it's nothing really interesting, we had to use a Deimos lander because Stroud doesn't have a proper upper lander. Just wait for the game to snip us in there. And yeah, so we just have like an all-in-one berth because that's pretty much all you get in the Nova Galactic Frontier. We had to go up Stroud. Yeah, we had to use a companionway with a Stroud top docker. Was it a Stroud top docker? We'll see in a minute when I go out there. And then of course that just goes into the cockpit, which is a long boy. It's a much bigger and nicer cockpit than the Nova Galactic Frontiers. So that's why it kind of sticks out a little bit funny. But there's really nothing to see. So here it is. The Nova Galactic has a piece like this on top of it, but like this is the closest thing Stroud had that worked. Kind of gives it a belugish forehead. And then we have this weird put back stance here, which there's different ways we could consider doing that. Like it looks a bit better if we do that, but then where do we stick this? Well, I guess we could stick it up there. Now this was built right quickly off another existing ship. That maybe looks better. If we look at the configuration here, it is the Delinquent Spacer, which actually was also a Nova Galactic ship, now that I mention it. I stripped it down. I put parts common to the Nova Galactic, the Frontier, on here. That's maybe a better shield. Or no, I can't remember. About the same tanks, about the same grav drive, about the same reactor. Put the same engines on it. The engines are kind of agnostic. There's no real brand loyalty there. Maybe there's something else we could put there, but you know, assuming we stuck with the same engines, White Dwarf 2020s gives us 91 mobility with this. Same cargo hold, Sextant 210. Had to put the Deimos landing bay at the bottom, and also Stroud doesn't have landers that kind of do the same thing as the Frontier. So I had to use some artistic license, use Deimos landers there too, just to get that kind of same stance. For weapons, they're just arbitrarily just chuck them on there. I think these were already on the Delinquent Spacer. 2 lasers. I don't remember what the Frontier had at this point. We'd have to go take a look. Yeah, Stroud top docker, which because they don't have a complete piece, we needed to use a companionway. So that's what we end up with. Not going to get too much into detail and specifications. It's just all about the aesthetic. But you see, I went a little bit further. What if it wasn't even a Stroud? If they were going to use a Nova Galactic ship, they could use pretty much any ship, right? What else do we have to work with? Well, there's my original modified Frontier. We're just going to have to switch through all my various ships that I had available on this playthrough. Oh, the Datura. Didn't do anything with that. Warhog Dagger, Stronzo, Kepler C. Ballsy. When I was doing the Crimson Fleet, we got this UC prison shuttle. I held on to it, started messing with it. So I threw together really quickly what I think if we did a Nova Galactic version in Hope Tech. Now, Hope Tech is all about that front docker, right? So we've used one of those here. Now, initially, when I built this ship, I put the cockpit out here, which kind of didn't work. We ended up putting a companionway here so that we could put a top docker, and then I couldn't really find anything that fit in here, because that's the problem with their little cockpits. They have they don't meld into any of the habs properly. They always have this little weirdness here. I guess maybe if you were going too long, that maybe would work, you know, but we ended up taking a slightly different approach with this ship. Putting an overhead cockpit, the typical front docker that Hope Tech is known for. We kept the same engines, dwarfs. We kept the same kind of reactor, the same cargo bay, and the same rough grav drive. And as you can see, it all kind of goes together in the rear. Looking down a bit, well, we had to we use these particular landers, and these are what Hope Tech has for their just most basic landers. Even though they're decent landers, unlike the Frontier and those other ones, they have a 2 lander thrust, and they're 2 pieces that kind of, you know, you have the mid, the front, the rear. The rear, they never cooperate because they're just kind of bulbous on the top here, right? So it sticks into things. You got to figure out what's it sticking into. Oh, it's probably sticking into the engine. So you got to put it into place. Now, mind you, there's multiple ways we could do that. In this case, we put the engine, flip, glitch, get these tanks, flip, glitch. Let's get this into place. No conflicts there. Go around to the other side. The alternate way you could do that is because these come in different forms. You can kind of go flip, glitch, boom. Get those landers into place. And really, if you look close, there's not a lot of dimensional conflict. Nothing that really stands out to deter you. Now, this particular guy, I did go a little bit more like what the Frontier is. I can't remember off the top of my head if these are the same launchers. I think they were. I think I looked up the specifications to see what was on the Frontier, and then I matched it for ships that I was pretty much building from scratch. In this case, unlike that Delinquent Spacer, it already had some of the right stuff on it, so I just left it. So I think that would be the correct missile launcher, the correct cannon, 2 of the correct pulse lasers, the correct shield generator, the correct tanks, and those should be the correct grav drives and the correct reactor. And you can see, yeah, we got this little cutie here. We got this little cutie here that kind of goes together. Let's just take a quick look inside, bud. See how that works. I always get a kick out of the Hope Tech ships, honestly. Like, I built one, my Warthog, and I actually really liked it. It was a bit small for a lot of crew, but it was a great little fighter ship, especially with some of the other upgrades that I made to it after the fact. Can't remember if I made a video about that. I'm gonna have to look that up. So we enter through a bottom docker, which I do believe was also a Hope Tech, because they offer that right into an all-in-one hab, because that's pretty much standard procedure at this point. We have an inconvenient location for the bunks, but we do have 4 bunks. Like, who wants to, I guess, sleep right by the entrances? I guess it's not a big deal. We got a dog there. Looks like he's... What is he doing to the moon? What is this dog? Is he taking bites? Is he taking, like... Is that like that communist... is it the Russian flag thing? Sickle? Sickle, is it? Is he sickling the... Someone sickled the dog on the moon. Sickle, boy. Sickle. Ah, this hab has something resembling a kitchen. That's cool. Has something... Oh, it has a fridge. This is like the only berth I think I've noticed has a proper fridge in it. And then a little dining table. And then a little office table. And then a little chill area with a TV. Hope Tech and Teo, they have a lot going for them as far as their creature comforts. Like, this is really a full-featured habitat right here. 4 bunks, a bathroom, a kitchen, a dining area, a fridge, a desk, a TV, and a chill area. You can't go wrong. But of course, right here, that's our front docker. So we're not going there. We have to double up this ladder, go up into this little companionway, or whatever it's called. It might be a store, probably a companionway. We have all sorts of dangerous explosive things here you kind of wish weren't there, but whatever, they are. That's it. And then you go to their rather impressive internally. I like the Hope Tech cockpits too. They look very like yeah, this is a combat ship, but this is like, you got this guy over here. You got, looks like what's reasonable visibility. You got subs. You got subwoofers on the floor, so you know this ship has a banging sound system. You got like what look like, those are at least 15-inch, if not 18-inch subs right there. Like, you got a pair of 18s like right there, and they were gonna bounce off that window. And it's just like, this place is gonna be freaking slamming come party time. And then you have your 2 points here for your crew to sit. And they have actual things to do with readouts to look at and monitors, and they're facing forward, so they'll be less likely to get motion sick, I think. You know, sometimes sitting sideways or backwards is a bit, you might not want to be doing that. But again, the internals of a ship this small, so very simple. So very, very simple. And you know what? I kind of like it. I think it's a bit of a cute ship. Big, wide mouth. Yeah. You know, the front of these ships almost like, it's got like a face, a big mouth, some eyes, a big pig warthog nose. Cute ship. Cute ship. I think I need to do more with Hope Tech. And then finally we have this thing. What if the Frontier was a Teo? Now, did I do the aesthetics for the other one? I just noticed. I did the actual paint job on that one. Oh boy, so many ships. I guess I I didn't really change the paint of that. That's just still with that one. Oh my god, how many ships do we have to toggle through here? Yeah, I guess I tried to do the white and red on this one, but this one turned out real snazzy, actually. Real snazzy. So as you can see, this is the Teo version. And we kept a lot of the Teo parts on it, but we did have to use artistic license here. It's gonna have a different stance, just because it kind of made sense, especially with the placement of stuff. Like, I found putting these guys higher didn't work. We would need something different to hold these, and I went all out with this guy. and it was kind of hard to avoid in ways. So we have our all-in-one berth and we have our cockpit and our tail lander. It comes in from the front. I try to use as much of that company's parts as possible. They have a lander that fits. There it is. You kind of wish it went up because it would look better if it was like set back a bit maybe, or not really. That suddenly seems ugly to me. Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But that means you need a companionway or something, a storeroom in this case, to go in from the bottom. And Teo's funny because they have top and bottom habs. They have the actual specific top and bottom habs. And they even have versions that don't have like these door pieces on them, which overall make them look nicer. The problem is in this particular design, it didn't give us enough mounting points for all the weapons we wanted to pack onto this thing. Like where the heck else are we going to stick that thing? You know? And then where would we put these? So I had to get something. I had to uggo it a little bit. Maybe we can, just to finish things off, sometimes what people like to do is they would put, hey, can you flip this around? And that just kind of makes it looks like it's going to block that laser. Okay. These are not necessarily the correct lasers. As you can see, yeah, we couldn't put that because the laser's on this side, but at least on this side, forward firing, it's going to clear this thing. I don't know why I have parts on this that are nothing like the Frontier. 49, 13 hull damage, 10. I think these are very similar spec, but I might have actually built this at Volley at Teo, and that put me into a position where I ended up needing to go with different weapons. Got the same shield though, and roughly the same tanks. Teo, Docker. All of a sudden, right now, I can't remember what kind of Dockers Teo offers. Now, I'm pretty sure they have Teo at this particular... Come on. No, I can't see the Teo Dockers. Does Teo not have Dockers? Teo must have Dockers. Do they not have Dockers? Holy frick, hold on a second here, bud. Yes, of course Teo has Dockers. Bottom Dockers even. Their bottom Docker is glitched because it sticks out longer. Like, okay, watch this. We're going to delete this. And even though it has bottom Docker ability, we have an error. All modules must be above the landing bay. For some reason, it does not want to be underneath. Not here anyway. But we can put it on top. So there we go. Boom. We have a proper matching Teo Docker. Let's just see if we can fix its color configuration there. Oh, there we go. Now it matches. Now it matches. Maybe it should be the red. Ho ho ho, we're getting snazzy here now, bud. Just for some reason I built all these ships at Cheyenne, because Cheyenne has all the parts that I needed. They had Teo, they had Hope Tech, they had Stroud. They don't have that Docker in stock, so I just hopped over to Vol Alpha. There is the top Docker. Typical cockpit, 260 cargo stock. And then these are the Teo landers, which often, like the Hope Tech, have little glitches going for them. So you have to like, And they do have a rear, which is what's nice about them. No conflict there. Like, they have a rear with a fake engine. It looks like an engine, but it doesn't do like anything for your actual mobility or engine count, which kind of sucks. But sometimes I did have a version of this where I had everything upset, or not, like everything was higher, right? Everything was higher. Like, okay, as an example, using the kind of parts that Teo would traditionally have on their ship, I chose this reactor, which is pretty much equivalent to the reactor that comes with the Frontier. Just that is the manufacturer's Yang that Teo would often use. And then, you know, we could maybe stick that into here. Doesn't quite fit dual engine wise. We could probably move it back one. Yeah. So we could make it look like there's more engines, but I ultimately opted for this design because it actually seemed quite snazzy. So the tail landing gears, I tucked the reactor down here because I needed something for these landing gears to stick to on the first level. Also something for this. You see, I did a bit of glitch building because there was nothing here to really mount the engines to. So I had to use artistic license with these Demios pieces. These things can be handy, implemented certain ways. And a way, as in an example. No, we have to leave that into place. Is if we move this out of the way, this thing will snap to the inside of the lander. Flip, flip, glitch it into place. And then, you know, we might have a bit of a problem here now with this reactor, but assuming they sell this reactor here, boom, glitch it up into there. And see the thing, the reactor will hook to this lander, then that lander will hook to the Demios wing, and then we can snap the engine there. And then, well, we have the, you know, this friggin' thing just tucked into there, right? Which seems funny, but it works because you can see the little door to get in and out of it right there. So yeah, cutesy, cutesy, cutesy. Not much else to it. All that's left to do is go take a look inside. Here we are at Volley Alpha. Hopefully we don't get a double ship glitch anymore. Go in here, enter through the front, right into here. Maybe you could have 2 levels here if you wanted to and wanted to move that reactor somewhere else. I don't know. I had a trouble, like, I tried a couple different configurations. Like, I went with a rear entry, but I didn't have a place to put the cargo bay. So very boring, right into a little companionway or whatever. Not much to see. There's buckets. They got buckets. Do you need any buckets, bud? Bucket per grade, right there. Jump up, boom. We have an all-in-one hab, which very much like the Hope Tech. Boom. There's our docker. 4 bunks. Looks maybe it's I find Teo's weird because it looks dirtier, but brighter than Hope Tech. Like, you got a lot of crap on the floor, and well, I think that's pretty much the same couch. So you have the same TV, the same desk, the same couch, little chill area. They have a box kicking around here. Can we just like delete this box? Be nice if you could just delete items. Little breaker switch, whatever that thing is. Of course, we have the kitchen, little dining, fridge, bunk, bathroom, which kind of looks cleaner than the Hope Tech bathroom. But, oh, look at that worn out ass chair. Really? And right into the cockpit. They have like nice looking cockpits, nice clean, shiny, fancy look. Wow, what the hell? That looks all messed up there, bud. What's wrong with that chair? They're both that way. Do they need reupholstering already? It's like it looks posh, but it doesn't. What the heck's wrong with the armillary? No, really, what's going wrong with the armillary? Did I have... I shouldn't even have that here. I did this at level 88 before things went down with Sarah and people got killed and we had to get rid of the armillary. All right, well, that's... Actually, that's... Did we double ship glitch here? Wait. Yes, we did. Look at that. Look at that ass. Why does double ship glitch give us an armillary? Why is my hair missing? That is not what my character is supposed to look like. Something's up with the game right now, buds. Something's up with the game. Take off and watch this. Woo! 1 ship? 2 ship. Always happens at Vol Alpha. You have to be very careful shipbuilding at Vol Alpha, because sometimes that glitch can end badly. Very, very badly. Now that we're out in space, everything should be normal. Except for my hair. My hair is still missing. Inventory is unavailable while I'm getting out of the seat. I'm supposed to look like this. Oops. Let me just see real quick here. Let's take the hat off. Let's put the hat on. Still hair still gone? Did they just automatically give you a buzz cut if you put on that hat now? We're troubleshooting a game glitch. Impromptu troubleshooting a game glitch. No. Something's just broke here. Something just broke with my character, period. Alright then. Okay. Alright, game. Good work. Good work. And the armillary is gone. Okay. Well, anyway. You're probably going to notice one thing. Is that I didn't bother with the Deimos build. Because a Deimos build would have been somewhat boring. Because you see, there's already a lot of Deimos ships that have the same form factor as the Frontier. Like the Razor Leaf. It's got two halves, but similar. Or there was one, the Dagger. The Dagger was a very small and simple ship that pretty much, pretty much the same damn thing. There's a lot of little tiny Deimos ships. Nothing interesting there. But small Teo ships? Definitely. There's not a whole heck of a lot of small Hope Tech ships. There's that one there. I forget what it's called. The Bulldog. Is it the Bulldog? I don't remember. It has way too big of landers for what it needs. I guess it's a small Hope Tech. Ugly as frig. Small Shroud? Not really. They're all a little bit larger because they have that blocky structure to them. They need to, in order to use Stroud parts, spread things out a bit. No real small Stroud ships. I guess I could try making one and make it like, that Varun Prophecy style block. Yeah, I guess that's how it would go down, but But yeah, there you go. A Taio, a Hope Tech, and a Stroud version of the Frontier, if the Frontier was not Nova Galactic. Just a fun little thing we're doing. Just a fun little thing we're doing. You know what to do? You know what you to do? You can, because nobody's going to build these ships. This is just for lols. Speaking of lols, like, subscribe, come back for more. Find me on Kick. That cat on Kick.